Welcome back to day 71 of the 90-day challenge. Today I'm here with my colleague Anja Blodow. Hi Anja.
Hello, Christian. So good to see you again.
That's amazing. Yes, we had some technical difficulties in the beginning, but now we're live. We're live on YouTube, Facebook, on my channel, and on your channel, and on Instagram. Sorry, on LinkedIn as well. And today I have the pleasure to talk to Anja. Anja is a real estate guru and has a lot of knowledge in this area. And she has founded the company IAM Queen some years ago, which she is the CEO of now. But you have a very different career path beforehand, right? You were actually in a corporate environment doing legal stuff, right?
Yes, that's totally. You really made me laugh when you said, "Let's call you a real estate guru." Because 10 years ago, I was working as a lawyer in corporate, just like a normal lawyer in Germany. And if anybody would have told me back then that by now I would be having a Facebook account, doing lives on YouTube or on Facebook, on LinkedIn, or stuff like that, or speak on congresses, I would have never believed it. And I'm not saying that to show off, but just really to say that so many things are possible if we really follow our heart and just do what we feel like is the right thing for us to do.
Absolutely, yeah. What was your the initial spark that actually set everything in motion for you?
Actually, since I was working in corporate, I had two topics in my mid-30s that simply, first of all, I somehow figured out that I didn't want to work until retirement as a lawyer, meaning having a 50, 60 hours week, going to the office every day, just was not my thing. And the next thing is I wanted to have a family and have children. But if you have a full-time lawyer job with a lot of responsibility, and at least in Germany, still pretty hard to somehow combine family life and the work life. And so I was really scratching my head to find a plan. How can I somehow bring these two things together, like still make a living, but still have enough time? And that was really what drove me to find other solutions and what made me also like think out of the box. And you know that lawyers can have a pretty tiny box sometimes. Think out of that box and say, okay, if the things don't change, if the corporations don't change, I need to change maybe.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, that's the whole thing, right? When we start our education, when we grow up in elementary school, high school, and then even college, university, there's only one direction, right? You have to get a safe, secure job with great benefits until you retire.
Yes, that seems to be a bit the stereotype of the education that at least I got, and I think many of the people that are now in their 20s or 30s, they got that we learn a lot for our head. We learn a lot of knowledge, but we don't learn so much like how to do the things actually. Like in school, we learn, I don't know, how to interpret a poem in 3 languages or something like that, but we don't learn how to. Yeah, but seriously, we don't learn how to do our health insurance, how to do our tax declaration, how to even just get a phone contract. We don't learn that. But in reality, this is what we are confronted with every day.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. That's why I'm questioning the school system a little bit, because I mean, it might have been very beneficial at the say in the 20s, in the 30s, in the 40s, and so on, and like 200 years ago. But nowadays, I think the kids, the pupils, are learning the wrong stuff, right, for real life.
I think so, honestly. Also because I think the times have just changed. When we grew up, like I'm 40 now. That's not old, but when we grew up, it was all about like an industrial education, sort of like to be working in an industry later or in a freelance maybe. But now we are in the information age, and this is just that we just continuously need to keep studying new things. And there are people that say that our knowledge expires every 1 year and a half. That means that we all the time need to learn new stuff. Although during our school career, it somehow sounded like as if you get your Abitur and you get your high school degree, then you're done. But that's not the case at all. And it just requires a total different mindset to just keep learning all the bloody time.
Exactly. Yeah. It's all about lifelong learning, right? And I mean, I was very much on this corporate career track, because I was always the best student in high school and so on. I had like an 1.5 Abitur, like very good A levels. And then afterwards, I was at a private business school, and there I actually thought, like, here you will actually learn how to make money, how to become financially independent. But for me, in my mindset, the way what looked very different, let's say 5 or 10 years ago, than it looks today. Yeah? And all the things that I envisioned for myself, they were not coming true. Yeah? So I was thought, when you only like work hard enough in this job, you will become one day like the CEO of this big company, of this corporation, and then you will have the big bucks to live the life of your dreams. But in the end, something changed my life, and I think it also changed your life. So I brought something for you.
Great.
I read this book 5 years ago.
Totally. I read that one also. In my case, I think it was 4 or 5 years ago, and I can totally support that. A game changer. This book is really a game changer. Along with one thing that we did, for instance, was also his game that he's invented, the cash flow game. We have a club in Munich, and we help people to learn how to play that game because it's a great learning experience for how to deal with money in the real life. And it's what I really like about that game is also that it's you're not playing against each other like maybe Monopoly or something, but it's like this idea of, hey, you're working together, you're making joint ventures, you're making collaborations, you're working as a team, and you can learn that stuff. And we didn't learn that in school. Like, I mean, if you did exams in school or in university and you would do a teamwork about it, you would just not pass because it's not allowed to do teamwork. You're supposed to know everything yourself. And it's just wrong because nobody nowadays can know everything anymore. If you think about how many professions there are,
yeah, incredible.
nobody can know everything. There's just loads of experts. So the only thing how to really do the things in a great way is to build up a team around yourself. Whatever you do, is it in a business or is it in a corporation or in a job, you need a network of people that have the according skills and knowledge. And this is a skill, or just this skill of setting up a team or running a good team or making an existing team better. That would be a fantastic thing to learn in school, but not so much up to now.
Exactly. I think there's a science behind how to earn money in life, right? Because I think Tony Robbins said that like being fulfilled is something very different, right? Much more difficult to achieve, but or gaining money, getting this paper stuff in your hands. I mean, you can learn it, right? But unfortunately, in school, they don't teach us the skills necessary to learn that. And the game that you spoke about is very, very powerful. And I totally agree with you. So this year's the cash flow game. And you were even like a leader for that, right? Like you have your own cash flow club, or is that right?
Yes, we have it together with a couple of friends. We're running it, and we're doing like regular meetings where we like teach people the game or give tips in the middle and just help them to learn and to like get the best out of these learnings and to somehow transmit it or transfer the learnings to their real life. And we see very good results with our participants. They're really happy when they're there. They really learn something, and then a few months later, they tell us, look, I've started doing this, or I've started doing training, or I start doing my own business. And they're just really, something is waking up in them and it makes them like hungry and they want to, yeah, it makes them curious. Yeah. And it's fantastic because people that learn because they're really motivated from inside about something, that's really cool. It's another thing that we can learn in school, how to motivate yourself from inside. But as we just said, that's not really happening.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe you get motivated, but for the wrong reasons, right? Because in high school, you only like it's only one path. I mean, Robert Kiyosaki describes it beautifully in his second book, right, the cash flow quadrant, and where he describes the 4 different quadrants that you can work in, right, E, S, B, and I. And unfortunately, in high school and in college, you only get pushed into this one quadrant, which is like employment, and that's everything you see, right? So it's very, very difficult. At least I think it's difficult to actually know about the other areas. It's like in the Matrix, right? You have to get woken up somehow to know what's outside.
Yeah, true. And it's great that you just mentioned the book because I also read it a couple of years ago. And when I saw this cash flow quadrant, maybe just explain it for a few people in the call now. It's like just a basic explanation that there are like basic 4 ways of making money, and 2 of them are based in working yourself physically, which is like being in a job or being being a freelance. And there's like that's 2 quadrants, and then there's 2 other quadrants which are having a business, which is like it's running without you and making money. And the next step that is like the even more important or even harder to achieve maybe is to be an investor, which is that really you're really detached. It's no touch and just the money is working for you. And these are just 4 essential ways of making money. But if we're all trained in school and in university to do number 1, which is being an employee, of course, we've never really heard about the others, or at least many people that I work with or that I talk to like are just lacking role models. Like they don't know any investors. So how could they learn from them?
Exactly, exactly. Yeah, I mean, my dad was a teacher, so for him it was always clear that you have to get a safe, secure job, right? Get like an amazing education. Even like my, my uncle has a PhD, so it was clear that I also should get a PhD one day. But the question is for what, right? Like only to advance my career somewhere in a corporate hamster wheel, or does it really benefit myself, right? Probably not.
True. And the sad thing is, which I've just done a post about it this week on LinkedIn. The point is, we done so many certificates. There are so many people out there that have fantastic education, like university education. They have degrees, they have PhDs, they have even higher or more degrees than that. But the whole problem is, it doesn't teach you anything about money. Because if you go to a bank to, for instance, to ask for a loan, for a mortgage, to buy a home or an investment, nobody ever asked me about my high school diploma, about my university degrees. They want my financial
Exactly.
data because they want to know, like, what was I able to do with my education after university. And this is really crucial to understand, that in the real world, also in the business world, it doesn't count so much like your education, but it counts like what are you able to do, like what's your financial
Exactly.
IQ. And that's of course based in financial education. That's why if you're lacking financial education, you're not knowing how to handle a business, basically.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the whole thing, right? So basically, even in corporate life, nobody's asking you about your diplomas anymore. Once you're one or 2 years into the job, you have to perform. You have to be part of the system. If you don't perform, you're out. And this whole diploma things and so on, and all the internships that you did beforehand, just like to increase your employability. I mean, doesn't really pay off in the end, right? Because it's an effort that financially doesn't pay off, in my opinion, right? And as you said, all the certificates. I also thought, right, I had to get like I think I was in high school when I was around 14 or 15. We were getting like the FCE, the first certificate in English from Cambridge, yeah. And now everybody told us, yeah, with this certificate, it will take you everywhere, yeah. Like all the colleges, they will accept this and so on. And then later, 4 years later, when I applied to college, they said, no, this is not enough. You need like the TOEFL, test of English as a foreign language, with 105 points out of 120. Otherwise, we can't take you. So, okay, then I'll
Yeah,
need another certificate.
yeah, that's totally true. And for instance, I can talk from my profession because I studied law.
Yeah,
I can say that, I mean, usually law studies take like 7 years. But if you think about it, you put 7 years, and it's really hard work because it's really, really tough to get to use to that type of exam that lawyers are doing or lawyers need to do. And then if you later find out that maybe there are simpler ways of making money, which by investment, for instance, you just cannot believe it. Or I see many, many lawyers or also people from other professions that are hard studies, that they can't believe how simple it is to make money because their whole life they were trained to say it's so hard. It must be hard work. And if it's not hard work, it can't be true, or it can't be right, or it can't be real or something. And this is what actually keeps them in the rat race. Because if you think about it, it doesn't really need a lot of knowledge. For instance, to go into real estate or also into shares or whatever, you don't need a lot of knowledge, because if that was true, in my mind, it would mean that all the lawyers or tax advisors or counselors or all these people that deal with the real estate market in the wider sense, none of them should be working after the 40th birthday. But guess what?
exactly.
There are many out there that are like in their 50s or even in their 60s, still working, still having to pay off their own mortgage, super stressed, maybe divorced, maybe the kids are not happy anymore, the wife run off, whatever, or they're having, I don't know, physical problems or health issues. And all that just because they are still believing, or they were trained to believe, that their knowledge is the most important thing, and they can't look outside of that box. And it's really sad because you see people really suffering, and with this bringing also suffering to their surroundings, with their families and so on. It's a pity. It's really a waste of human potential in my mind.
It is, it is. But especially when you say when you're a lawyer, when you're a consultant from McKinsey or Boston Consulting or an investment banker, they always hold like the carrot in front of your nose, right? It's like if you just stay 2 more years, you will be a senior partner. If you stay 2 more years, you get like a super duper bonus and like this nice fancy car and so on. Yeah, it's basically it's like a bait and switch system, right?
Yeah, it's true. But the funny thing is, the carrot thing works, and I think also people keep the carrot like in front of their eyes themselves with it. It's other people who hold it, but they also keep it there. And there was a moment in my job as a lawyer where I realized that at a certain career level, I was like, you know what? I don't want to have even a job further up the ladder because I don't want to deal with all that stuff. Really,
You have to.
it was an honest moment to myself. I said that, look, even if they pay me more and more money, I still don't want to do it. And that was like part of that whole thing of my mind changing from, okay, do I really want to follow the rat race and this career thing and getting higher up the ladder and trying to like fight with other and be in competition with people just because there's this fairy tale that there's a scarcity or that there's not enough or something. Because in a company, of course, with a hierarchy, with this pyramidal style, of course, there's just a limited amount of jobs there. But if you think outside of a company, there's millions of possibilities. And it's just when you're in this small road, you think there's nothing else. But once you leave your company, you're like, wow, there are other companies. And wow, even there's an outside of companies at all. And then you realize that there's a whole big world of possibilities to discover, of markets, of investment possibilities, of learning fields where it does not matter at all where you come from or what was your original education, where it just matters, like basically it matters that you have a good heart, that you have good manners, that you're a reliable person that brings a quality to the customer that somehow adds value to people's lives. And if you have realized that, it's just, you just need to be a very decent person. And if you're a decent person, you can make business. And it's way easier
Exactly.
than to be in that rat race, in the competition, in the pyramid, and just trying to, run for nothing.
Exactly. We're running out of time, but one question: if anybody watching today, what would be your biggest advice? How to get started if you want to, let's say, endeavor on this course of financial freedom? What are the main steps you should follow?
I think really important is to be honest to oneself and say, what do I really want? Because everything is
Hmm.
possible. If you think about at the moment of our birth, everything was possible to us. And then just the education came in between. So that means if you just can get rid of some educational stuff that is blocking you, you can like somehow unfold that again or make it visible again. So just really firmly believe in yourself and that when you want something that you can achieve it. And then just try to make a plan. Try to meet the right people that have done it before. Build a network and surround yourself with people that have done stuff like that before, because they will pull you up, they will push you, they will ask or demand more of you than you might think you can do. And this will just lift you up and get you wherever you want, because everything's achievable. And if I was able from a lawyer's job to now have an online business in real estate, helping people to find real estate, it's just everything's possible.
Amazing, amazing. Yeah. I really like what you said about this formation of a group, because I think it was Napoleon Hill in Think and Grow Rich, where he actually formed this first mastermind group, right? Just really get them like-minded people together and just work on the same goal towards the same direction. And it's not against each other; it's actually with each other, yeah? Because everybody wants to reach the same goal in this mastermind.
Yes, totally. No, this is totally right. And these people that are surround you, they can lift you up in a moment that you maybe lose the spirit or you're like down or you think you can't make it. These people tap you on the shoulder or they give you a hug or a smile and say, "Hey, look, come on, keep going. You're close. Keep going." And that will keep you going and will you make achieve the goal that you have.
Yeah, amazing. So, final question before I let you go to your meeting. You founded IAM Queen like 3 years and 7 months ago. So, what is actually that all about? And do you want to promote a little bit to our viewers today?
That's nice. Yes, I founded IAM Queen because I really found that especially women are lacking possibilities to learn about finances, because
Hmm.
everything happens in a woman's lives in the 30s. So there's like the job needs to happen, the career needs to happen, you need to find the partner, the biological clock is ticking, children, blah, blah, blah. And then once you are like in a relationship, you have a couple of children, you have a mortgage, and you're on a part-time job, there's just no way that you're ever gonna solve your pension problem or that you ever get like back on your feet, really. And if you start like putting the right directions before that, before you have children, with all of this, you just have such a much easier life. And that was my idea. And I just wanted to pass on my knowledge that I was that I had the pleasure or the honor to learn, and wanted to pass it on to other people, because sharing is caring. And I'm just amazed with all these fantastic women that I was allowed or able to meet up to now, and to help them and to really see them flourish. So this is really why I love my job, because I really work with fantastic women and men also sometimes, and it's just a pleasure to work with people that really you help them make their lives better.
Amazing, amazing, very inspirational. If you want to find out more about you or about your business, how can they reach out?
That's very simple. They find me on all the channels, on LinkedIn, on Facebook. I have also a Facebook group that's for free. You can join it. It's called IAM Queen. Very simple to find. I have a homepage, of course, as well. And if you feel like you're ready to go, you need to have real estate, you really want to do it now, and you cannot wait, then please book a call with me. I have a short offer on my homepage. It's 15 minutes call for free to see where you are. And my homepage name is Anja-Blodow.com. Very simple.
Okay, let me put that into the chat as well.
Oh,
I'll put all the links below below the video. If you're watching this now, not live, but later, then you can check it out.
Yes, thank you very much for putting in the link.
I found your website as well. That's a cool picture of you.
That's very nice that you put it in.
Absolutely. Alrighty, then Anja, do you have any final words that you want to bring out to the world?
I just find you have a fantastic energy. Thank you very much for this very nice interview after this fantastic congress that I had the honor to work with you already. And apart from that, without anybody mentioning it, we just put on both the red color, which is like the color of energy and the color of love. And I think that is a great motto for the topic that we had today.
Absolutely, it's dominant color, and I really encourage everyone to go out there, follow Anja. She's very inspirational, especially on LinkedIn, right? You're posting something every day. It's very, very cool, and you're very inspirational, Anja. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you.
Also at our conference 2-3 weeks ago, it was a really killer presentation that you gave about real estate. Very, very engaging, interactive. And I hope to meet you in person one day. It would be very, very nice.
Yes, I'm looking forward to that too, Christian, very much. Thanks a lot.
Absolutely. Anja, have a very nice day, and I wish you all the best.
Thanks a lot. You too, Christian. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.